How narcissistic do you have to be to think that AI learning from your books is somehow stealing? Seriously, what do you think is in your writing that's so uniquely untouchable that the only explanation is theft? And if something actually was stolen, we already have a word for that. It's called plagiarism. It's obvious when it happens. But that's not what it's doing. When AI generates something, it's not copying and pasting sentences from what it's seen. It's not pulling your paragraph and slightly rearranging it. It's trained on massive amounts of text and learns patterns in how language works, how words relate to each other, and what tends to come next in a sentence. Then it uses those patterns to generate something new. That's not theft. That's synthesis. Let's take a real example from the writing world. There's a series called the Norton Anthology of English Literature. It's not just one book, it's a multi-volume collection that's been around for decades. It pulls together writings from different authors across different time periods, all organized into one place so people can read, study, and learn from it. That's what writers use, that's what students use. You go through those volumes, you absorb styles, ideas, structure, tone. You start to recognize patterns in how different authors write. What makes something effective, what sticks, and over time that shapes how you write. Now what would we call that today? If we're being consistent with the language people are using around AI, that's scraping. It's a large curated data set of other people's work compiled specifically so it can be learned from. But no one calls it theft. No one accuses students of stealing because they studied from it. No one says the anthology shouldn't exist because it contains other people's writing. It's understood for what it is, a tool for learning. So the question becomes, why does that same idea suddenly turn into something unethical the moment the learner isn't human? So what we really have here is a group of well-known authors getting upset that a machine can learn from literature. And let's be honest, it's learning from a huge mix of sources across time, not just anything current or recent. A lot of modern writing isn't exactly sacred ground, but take this one step further. If learning equals stealing, then where does that leave humans? What if I spent years studying one author, reading everything they've ever written, understanding their rhythm, their tone, their structure, and I go write something in a similar style, not copying or plagiarizing, just writing in a way that clearly shows influence? Is that stealing now? Are we gonna start suing people for sounding like someone else? Cause that's the direction this logic goes. You're taking the basic act of learning and trying to rename it as something sinister. You call it scraping because it sounds cold and invasive, but what it really is training a system to recognize patterns and data just faster at a much larger scale with the ability to generate text almost instantly. That's the only real difference. We humans do something similar in outcome, even if the process is different. We read, we listen, we absorb the things we love, stick with us. They shape how we think, how we write, how we create. And when we go to produce something, those influences come through. Maybe it's a tone, maybe it's a structure, maybe it's just a feeling, but it's there. And no one calls that stealing. That's how creativity works, that's how it has always worked. Every piece of art, every book, every song is built on what came before it. Now we just have a tool that can do that process at a massive scale, instantly, across enormous amounts of material. And that's what really bothers people, not theft, but the fact that, for the first time, no one's work sits on a pedestal anymore. Everything can be analyzed, learned from, and used as part of something new, as it was always meant to be. AI has a lot of problems, I admit, but this ain't one of these. So if you start calling that stealing, you're not just going after AI, you're setting a precedent that learning itself is a problem. And that's a much bigger mistake than anything you think artificial intelligence can take.
Sick of this shit.